Hello friends, I hope you all are doing well. I, CA Pujan Kapadia, welcome you all on my today's lecture on the subject of banking, paper 6. Friends, we had started with the topic of central bank in the previous lectures, in which we had started initially with the meaning and definition of central bank, post which we had covered certain short questions like Imperial Bank of India, then we have covered about the objective of RBI, we have covered Bank of England and its establishment, which was the first ever central bank to be established in the world. And then moving ahead, we had dealt with the purpose of the central bank. Why is it necessary to have central bank in a particular nation? Moving ahead, in the next lecture, we had basically studied how the central bank has been origin and have been grown in our own country, that is India. So the topic was origin and growth of central bank in our own country, that is in India. Post that, we have taken a lecture on the functions of central bank. What all are the functions that the central bank does? And the question could be asked in another form also, which I have told you guys that RBI as a central bank. Explain this statement. Again, we are going to write all the functions that we have studied in the previous lecture. Friends, so till now, we have covered up to this. Moving ahead, today, we are going to start with a new topic. The name of the topic is Importance of central bank in economy. So friends, basically, if I want to talk, what is the importance of central bank in an economy? Fine. So we are going to discuss the particular thing from the viewpoint of the economy. There are two primary importance of the central bank that we are going to cover in detail. Please take a note that a short note can be asked or a long question can be asked on either of the topic. Like it can be, as you can read on the slide, central bank and economic development. And the second question can be central bank and economic stability. So basically, in this heading of importance of central bank in economy, we are going to cover only two answers. But these are not the 2 points. They are the two long questions in themselves. As a result of which, we are going to cover two lectures on this two topic. Today, we are going to deal with the first one, that is central bank and economic development. So friends, the goal or the purpose of studying today's lecture is basically how the central bank is contributing towards the development of the economy. Fine, that is the topic for the day. So let's start with the same. Central bank and economic development. First of all, what is central bank? It is an inevitable agency for promoting economic growth of a country. If any country wants to grow, it is inevitable. It is necessary that the existence of central bank should be there in that particular nation. So the first line is just an introductory line which says that the central bank is an inevitable necessary. Inevitable means necessary agency for promoting economic growth of a country. Second point readers, central bank is an institution which is responsible for maintenance of economic stability and for assisting growth of the economy within the framework of the general economic policy of the state. What they want to say in this particular point is central bank is an institution which is basically focusing or which is basically responsible for two important things. One is maintaining economic stability. What is economic stability? You need to ensure that the money supply in an economy is not more, not less. It is adequate. It is sufficient enough as it should be actually. That is economic stability. And what is economic growth? That is the development of a country, that a country is exploring, it is progressing in all the horizons, in all the different sectors. So basically, keeping in mind the general economic policy of the state. Here the state means the entire country or entire nation. So I need to keep in mind the general economic policy of my country, and under that purview, I want to take care of my economic stability and economic growth. So central bank is basically an institution which is highly responsible for infusing economic development and at the same time ensuring economic stability in my economy. Third point, development of sound banking system to cater the needs of trade, commerce, industry, and agriculture. Central bank is also responsible for one important point. That is, it ensures that there should be a sound banking system. What is a sound banking system? The entire banking system which prevails in a particular economy, which prevails in a particular nation, should be soundproof, should be sound in such a manner so that there are no limitations, there can be no harm in that particular system. It functions in such a manner that is good, it is helping to boost the economy. As a result of which, development of sound banking system is necessary, which is being taken care of by the central bank to cater the important needs of trade, commerce, industry, and agricultural sector. Moving ahead, the next point is ensure that commercial banks operate on a sound and prudent basis. It also oversees the functioning of the commercial bank. If you can recall in the very first meaning, what is central bank? I have stated you 5 important functions of central bank. One was it to oversee the functioning of the commercial bank. Central bank looks after that how a commercial bank is performing its operation. As a result of which, central bank ensures that whether all the commercial banks are operating on the sound and the prudent basis. That is, they are doing the business morally, they are doing the banking business in its true sense. There is no way of any wrong deeds, wrongdoing in the banking system. The last point is development of highly organized capital and money markets, assisting huge investments activities in capital formation and other productive sectors. What they want to focus over here is, see, basically, I have told you there are two kind of sources of funds. One is long term and another is short term. The long term source is widely known as capital market. Basically, your share market is nothing. It is one of the capital market where the funds are being traded for a longer period of time. Against which we had a topic in syllabus that I have discussed, money market. When you require a fund for the maximum period of 1 year, that is your requirement is for short term, 1 year or less, you are taking resort to several money market instruments like treasury bills, commercial papers, etc. As a result of which, central bank also takes care that proper organized capital and money market is being developed in the nation. So this is nothing, this is just an introduction of how central bank is ensuring or is taking care of various things in order to boost economic development in the country. I'm just giving you 1 minute. Take a look on all the 5 points, read it carefully so that you can get good knowledge of the same. Well, friends, I hope you have read all the points written over here. The basic focus you need to lay down is on the underlying words. What is central bank doing? First point is it is taking care of the sound banking system in an economy. Second is it is ensuring that the commercial banks are operating in a sound and a prudent basis. The third is it is ensuring the proper organized development of capital and money markets. Moving ahead, during the planning era, that is at the time of planning, fine, economic planning, central bank's role was as an advisor to the government on economic matters in general and on financial matters in particular is on considerable importance. This point tries to say that at the time of planning, that is when the Indian after Indian independence, when the planning era was going on, round about in the year 1950s, fine. At that particular point of time, what was the basic role of central bank? It was to advise the government on two important things. First is regarding to all the economic matters in general. So it was giving general overview on all the economic matters. And at the same time, it was giving specific, particular information, particular advice on all the financial matters. As a result of which, we have also seen the particular point advisor to government in the functions of central bank. The same point is being stated over here. So I hope you are clear with the introductory part. that what are the major moves that are being done by the central bank in order to ensure the economic development in a country. Now what we are going to read is major functions of central bank giving momentum to development. Now we are going to study many points that the central bank have undertaken as a result of which the economic development in an economy or in a country is being ensured. So let's see a point one by one. First written over here is it provide adequate funds to the different sectors. You all know a country can develop as a whole if each and every sector is growing. It is not practically possible for a country to develop full-fledged if certain sectors are growing and certain sectors are not growing. Now, in order to develop each and every sector, it becomes necessary that the funds are being allocated properly to all the sectors. If I talk about the basic three sectors, primary sector, industrial sector and service sector, it becomes inevitable for each and every sector to need fund because they are in the need of the fund in order to perform perfectly. Who is the basic person who is taking care that the proper adequate funds reach to all the sectors? Answer is central bank. So the main function of the central bank is to ensure that adequate funds are reaching to the different sectors of the society. Second point is to control inflation. If the prices are constantly rising and if the value of money is constantly decreasing, then you cannot say that your country is growing. It becomes difficult for your country to develop. As a result of which, central bank takes certain measures in order to control the inflation. It takes due care that the inflation stays under control, as a result of which the value of money, the purchasing power of the currency is not diminishing, and at the same time, the price hikes are also under control. Third point, spread banking facilities. The important function of central bank is to ensure that every corner of the country there prevails the proper adequate banking facility, the practical implementation of which can be easily seen in today's time. Fine. In this COVID situation, when people are in need of money, they are under the cash crunch. You see, you can find banking facility even in the smallest of the village. The main reason is the proper vision of the government and the central bank, because the central bank ensures that banking facilities should reach to each and every person, to each and every citizen of the country. As a result of which, one of this function of central bank of spreading banking facilities is also a reason for the development of the country. Next point is providing credit at cheap rates. You all know what is the main function of bank: accepting the deposits and giving advances. Now we all know that we get loans from the bank, but central bank takes due care that wherever there is a need of fund, wherever there are sectors where it is necessary to borrow the funds, to lend the fund, central bank ensures that the rate of interest at which such borrowings are done are at a lower rate. For example, agricultural sector was facing a bit difficulty at the time of growing in the last decade. At that particular point of time, central bank came up with many strategies, many loan schemes at a very cheaper rate, at a nominal rate. As a result of which, more funds can be diverted to the agricultural sector so that they can do their business with ease without any tension of repayment of the loans and can grow and prosper in their own sector. In short, what I want to say from this point is central bank takes due care that loans are being provided, advances are being done to the needy sectors at the cheaper rates so that all the citizens can take due advantage of the money. Next point is protecting the market for the government securities. Now here comes a point. There are certain securities which are being issued by the government, which are popularly known in the market as government bonds. Now it becomes inevitable that the goodwill, or I can say that the prestige of this bond, the trust which lies in this government security should be maintained so that it is having a ready market. Whenever government wants to sell that particular securities, they can sell that, and at the same time, when they want to buy the securities, they can buy that. In order to ensure that a proper market prevails for this government securities, central bank takes several steps in order to see that whenever there arises any need of flowing money in the economy or catching back the money from the economy, they can easily deal in the government securities operations. Next point is providing loans to the large scale and the small scale industry. As I discussed earlier, the main function of the bank is to accept the deposits and lending money. So at the same time, central banks take due care that loans are being provided, forwarded to all the large scale sectors, because those are the one which are actually going to help us earning big, and at the same time small scale industries, so that we can promote our own production, and at the same time we can export the goods which are produced by them. In short, what the central bank is doing in this particular 6 points that I have mentioned over here, first is it is ensuring that proper adequate funds are reaching to all the sectors of the society. Second is controlling the inflation, that the price rise should be under control, and at the same time the value of money should not be deteriorated. Third is to spread banking facilities in each and every corner of the country. Fourth is to ensure that providing credit at cheaper rates to the needy sector. For example, I have given you the example of agricultural sector. Next is to ensure that the proper market prevails for all the government securities. And last is to ensure that the loans reaches to all the large scale sectors as well as the small scale industries. That is giving boom to the industrial sector. I'm just giving you a minute. Take a quick look on all the points which are mentioned on this particular slide. Well, friends, I hope you have taken a quick view on all the points which are stated over here. Let's move ahead. Next point is promoting sound, organized, well integrated agencies of capital and money markets. We have read a slide before that central bank takes due care that they establish a proper organized capital market, that is a long-term funds market, and at the same time money market, that is a short-term fund market. Now to promote that, what it is focusing on is there should be proper well integrated agencies. So if it feels necessary, it can give order of setting up certain agencies who control the entire functioning of the capital markets and money markets. Next point is build financial infrastructure, that is building a banking sector, insurance sector, etc. You know that banking and insurance facilities are such which are being spreaded to each and every corner of the country. Central bank ensures that not a single citizen of our country is deprived of banking or the insurance facilities, as a result of which it focuses on building the entire financial infrastructure in the economy. Next is to collect and disseminate. Disseminate means to spread economic statistics. You know, from time to time, many data surveys are being occurred. Central bank is basically the one who is collecting all the data with regards to economy. It can be GDP growth rate, it can be the performance of various sectors, what is the growth rate in a particular sector, it can be our wholesale price index, it can be our consumer price index. Various statistics, various economic data are being collected by this survey by certain agencies which are being hired by the government. Central bank does the task of collecting this data and disseminate, that is to spread this data to the respective department where it can be actually be helpful and decisions can be made on the basis of the same. Next is to advise the government. We have read from planning era, that is at the time of planning commission around 1950s. Central bank was the one who was responsible to advise the government on all the economic matters in general and on all the financial matters in particular. The task hasn't stopped there. Till now, whenever government comes up with various decisions which are related to economic and financial aspect, central bank's recommendations are always being taken care of at the time of announcing anything, is a result of which the task of central bank is of the advisor to the government. Next point is providing assistance to the farmers through cooperative societies. What central bank assures that proper functioning of cooperative societies should be there. For example, if a farmer wants to sell its product, fine. But if he is not getting right prices for his product, what he needs to do is he needs to directly approach the cooperative societies which are being set up by the governments as a result of which he can get the right price of his product. He do not have to market his own product, because again the marketing part is also being managed by these cooperative societies. As a result of which, what the central bank is trying to do is it is trying to provide assistance or help to the farmers through the cooperative societies. Next point is proper adjustment between demand and supply of money. You all now very well know what is basically demand and supply of money. Whenever you feel that the money supply in the economy is in excess or is in shortage, there are certain steps which are being done by the central bank. For example, it can bring changes in the rate of interest. It can either buy or sell the government securities. So it can do certain steps, as a result of which he can bring proper adjustment, equilibrium between the demand and supply of the money. Next is suitable interest rate policy. From time to time, it becomes very necessary for the central bank to revise the rates of interest. For example, since certain months, we are constantly observing a decline in the rate of interest, as a result of which we can see that it becomes easier, or we can say it becomes cheaper for normal citizens of the country to borrow funds from the bank, so that they are supposed to pay comparatively lesser interest rate than before. And so the availability of fund becomes much more easier. As a result of which, what I want to say is, continuously central bank needs to monitor the financial situation in the country, and accordingly needs to bring certain changes which are necessary in the interest rate policy. Last is debt management. What is debt management? Basically, central bank takes utmost due care that the debt of the government from various countries or from the various industrialists are always in the control, so that it ensures that whenever the excess funds are needed by the country, central bank takes due care that proper equilibrium is being maintained between the own funds and the funds that are borrowed. Central bank also helps government, state governments, central governments in providing funds whenever they feel the scarcity of the funds. In short, what the central bank is focusing upon is, it tries to ensure that the debt that a country is having is always under control, so that we are never under the position that we feel that our assets are lesser than the debts that we are having. So the debt are always supposed to be maintained under control. I hope I'm clear with all the points that I have stated. Again, giving you a minute, take a quick overview on all the points which are stated over here. Well, friends, I hope you are clear with the points which are stated on this particular slide. So let's move ahead. The next point is credit control. That is to ensure that there should not be excess funds available in the market. So as and when central bank feels it is necessary to stop or to control the excess fund supply or the excess money supply in an economy, it takes the necessary actions. Next is solving balance of payments problem. I hope you are well aware about what is balance of payment. Basically, the difference between the imports and the exports, that is the foreign currency that I need to pay and the foreign currency that I am supposed to get, the difference between the same is known as balance of payment situation. It is basically including, it can be either deficit, it can be either surplus, or it can be always balance. In short, we are supposed to be in a position that we are not in a position to pay more foreign exchanges as compared to what we are receiving. As a result of which, central bank also does the important function to oversee that the balance of payment situation is always under control, and we do not have to suffer from heavy deficits. Next is NABARD. I hope you might have heard this name, that is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. I request students to remember the full form and write it in your examination also, because it is going to leave a remarkable impression in your question paper, because this is the bank which is mainly taking care of the agriculture and rural sector in our country. So what central bank has done is it has established NABARD so that entire agricultural development can be taken care of by this particular bank, which basically focuses on each and everything which is necessary for the agricultural sector to be developed in all the aspects. Next point is to provide assistance for cooperative marketing, processing, storage, and warehousing. As I told you, that farmers find it difficult to get a right price of its product because they lack certain skills like marketing skills, they lack funds of storage or go downs, so that they produce the crops, but those food items or the crops which are being produced by them are basically perishable in nature. Perishable means the longevity or they last long only for 2 days or 3 days. As a result of which, there should be a proper storage and warehousing facility so that we can properly store all the food items that are being produced by the farmers. As a result of which, what the central bank does is it provides assistance or help for the cooperative marketing processes, that is the entire marketing of all the production that is being done by the farmers are taken care of, and at the same time it provides assistance help, it forms or funds certain public warehouses where the farmers can store their products that they have produced. So again, central bank is coming to the rescue in providing help for the marketing, storage, and warehousing facilities. Next point is it establishes certain centers to impart cooperative training and education. How to basically operate with all the things, how to basically deal with the facilities which are being advanced to them. The training and education is given to all the sectors. In this particular thing, if I can take an example of agricultural sector, farmers are supposed to know how they can market their products, whom should they approach in order to get the right price of what they are producing, how not to fall in the trap of the intermediaries who are doing nothing, just making profits. So basically there are certain practical trainings, how to market the goods, how to store the goods, where to approach for the right price, etc., are being given by the centers which are again being funded or are being set up under the governance of the central bank. Next point is industrial finance. So the basically here the importance lies on the industrial sector. SIDB, again a name to remember with the full form, Small Industries Development Bank of India. Basically, this is the bank who takes care of the funding for all the small scale industries. So who is the bank who is taking care of small industries? That is SIDB, Small Industries Development Bank of India. Second is IDBI, that is Industrial Development Bank of India. Basically, these banks are the one who takes care that all the industries may get all the eligible industry. I would like to add the word eligible because it is not possible to fund each and everyone. So those who are eligible to get funded, these banks take due care that they never fall short of fund and they can get the right amount at the right cost. Last point on this slide is for infrastructural sector. For infrastructure development, there is a bank called IDFC, that is Infrastructure Development Finance Company. So there are basically certain full forms on this particular slide like NABARD, SIDB, IDBI, IDFC that you need to remember. I'm just giving you a minute, just take a quick overview on the points which are stated on this particular slide. Well, friends, I hope you are clear with the points stated over here and certain full forms, that is NABARD for agricultural sector, SIDB for small industries, IDBI again for industrial sector, and IDFC for the infrastructural sector. Towards the last slide for today, SIC Industrial Undertaking Cell in RBI to monitor the performance of commercial banks and to rehab SIC units. Now, what is basically SIC units? The units or the industrial units which are constantly undergoing losses. In spite of capital investment, they are not able to make good profits. They are constantly incurring losses. Now, certain units are supposed to be taken care of by someone. Fine. They need to be bring back on the momentum, or else one sector will be earning profit, but due to such SIC units, the entire sector is not going to show a net growth rate. Fine. As a result of which, it becomes necessary that SIC units should again gain momentum and earn good amount of profit. So who is taking care? SIC Industrial Undertaking Cell in the RBI. So again, central bank has developed a separate cell, a separate department, that is SIC Industrial Undertaking Cell, who is taking care of rehab of the SIC units. Next is efficient bill market scheme. As I told you, when we talk about monetary markets, important instrument of monetary market as a short-term finances, bills. We popularly know it as bills of exchange. So for efficient bill, or to ensure that there is a proper transactions of bills of exchange in an entire country, there should be a proper market scheme. Fine. As a result of which, central bank comes up with the efficient bill market scheme so that there is no flaw in this entire transaction and we can smoothly do as many transactions of this nature in order to ensure that no one feel shortage of funds due to short-term financial needs. And the last part is research and statistical division of RBI. This is the basically division, a specific department. What is its name? Research and Statistical Division of RBI. It basically shows the economic trends. We generally forecast, like in 2020, my growth rate is X percentage. Now, what is going to be my growth rate after 5 years? Fine. All this trend understanding, the trend projecting is being done by this particular department under RBI, the name of which is Research and Statistical Division. So friends, these were all the points, the functions of RBI, the tasks which are being done by the RBI to ensure that there is the development, there is growth in an economy. So whenever you come across a question, write a short note or how the RBI or the central bank is contributing towards the economic development of a country. You need to write the introductory 5 to 6 points that I explained initially, and then all these points one by one along with the explanation that you can remember. Now moving ahead, what I have done over here is I am giving you 3 MCQs. Fine. So today we are not having 5 MCQs. We are having only 3 MCQs. You need to mark the correct answer, and after completion of all the 3 MCQs, we are going to discuss the correct options. I hope you are ready for the same. And so your time starts now. Well, friends, I hope you are ready with the correct answers. So let's check the right answers. The first question was, which banks look after the agricultural sector in India primarily? As we have discussed as of now, the correct answer is option C, that is NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So the correct answer is option C. Second question was, which banks look after the small industries in India primarily? Correct answer is SIDB, that is option D, Small Industries Development Bank of India. Option D. And the third question was RBI is responsible for economic. Answer is option D, all of this, because it is responsible for the development, growth, and stability. I hope you have got all your answers correctly. With this, I, CA Pujan Kapadia, thank you all for your patient listening and hope to see you soon in my next lecture. Thank you.